Hello and welcome to this special broadcast on the first anniversary of the dastardly attack on Israel that happened on October 7th, 2023, when Hamas terrorists came in large numbers and killed and murdered and raped hundreds of innocent Israelis there at the border area with Gaza and Israel. Joining us today is Captain David Abraham. He is IDF's head of international press, and he is the one we thought of speaking to because a lot of misinformation is doing rounds, and Hamas, the way it is projecting itself as a victim, is something that beats not just Israel, but everyone around the world. David, thank you so much for speaking to us, for speaking to Oneindia. We really appreciate your time here.
Thank you, sir. Pleasure to be here.
Captain David, as I mentioned, there are two-pronged war that Israel is fighting as of now. One that is fought through military cadre. The other one is about misinformation. How has IDF evolved in these last 1 year, these last 365 days, as far as countering the narrative is concerned and countering the Hamas aggression is concerned?
Well, we all know what Hamas did exactly a year ago. On October 7th, they executed one of the most brutal terror attacks in the history of mankind, killing over 1,200 people and kidnapping over 250. Now, this attack was deliberately planned for years and years through the help of their proxies, through our other Iranian proxies, and they've been planning this attack together. Part of this attack and part of their general strategic is to use misinformation and to make sure that the world doesn't really know what's going on there. It's something that they use and they weaponize, and it's something that we need to deal with every day.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And now that the war has escalated further, yes, there is support for Israel. There is support for the cause that Israel is fighting for. Yet, traveling into or going into uncharted territory, say of Lebanon, for that matter, Iran is now directly in the conflict. How has it changed Israel's strategy to counter these multi-pronged enemies?
We are well aware of the enemy that we are facing against. Iran is working to destabilize the region, and they're doing it in many different countries, both in the Middle East and Northern Africa.
Mm-hmm.
We know that when we fight one of their proxies, we're actually fighting all of them, meaning right now we're fighting 7 different fronts. We have the south, we have the north, we have others in the east, far south, which I'm sure you are aware of. Our goals have been and will remain to protect the people of Israel, to protect our civilians. And recently, the new war target was added to return the people of the north back to their homes. So we may have many adversaries and many enemies, but we will continue to protect our people and do it in the most humane way that we know.
Right. Captain David, given this complex geopolitical environment as well, I know you are part of the IDF, Israeli Defense Forces, but how does the IDF balance the need for security with maintaining diplomatic relationships, especially with nations that have recently come to help Israel? That is one aspect, diplomacy, and the other one is military. How does Israel find a balance there?
It's a great question. At the end of the day, the IDF is one of the tools that the government uses to advance its policies and what they think is right for the country. We are obviously the military tool, and we do whatever the political echelon tells us to do. We'll say that the military cooperation with our allies is outstanding, both the ones that we can speak about and the ones that we can't. We're very grateful to have allies who are fighting with us against this war on terrorism, this war on darkness, and it really is understanding of a lot of different countries, both in the region and the world, the threat that Iran poses both to the Middle East and to the world.
Absolutely. One final question. I know time is of essence for you. Is this a fight till the end? Many critics would say that Israel has been given an option for ceasefire, but Prime Minister Netanyahu has chosen otherwise. How do you look at it?
Again, as I mentioned, we're here to do whatever the political echelon tells us to do.
Okay.
But we are here until we can ensure the safety of the civilians of Israel. A ceasefire for now isn't enough if we cannot promise the security of our civilians for years to come. The options that we have on the table are vast. We always would prefer the diplomatic solutions, but seeing that our enemies have one intention and one clear goal, which is the destruction of the state of Israel and killing of all 8 million civilians inside, it looks like we have other options that we need to execute right now.
Right. And Captain David, one final message to the world as far as IDF and Israel is concerned, so that they also get to know that what exactly is transpiring and hearing it directly from IDF and not from any other source.
Absolutely. We're here to fight evil. We're here to fight terrorism. We've seen what these terrorists are capable of doing. They're very proud of it. They're not hiding it for 1 second. And we're here to make sure that the state of Israel and the civilians of Israel will continue to live safely, whatever means possible. And thank you very much for having me.
Thanks, Captain David Abraham, there, IDF's head of international press. Thank you so much for taking time out, Captain. We really appreciate it, and our good wishes are with you, your family, and your countrymen in these times of dire
Thank
need.
you, sir, to you and yours as well.
Thank you.